Yo, time to wake 'em up!
Hello and welcome to Discover 360. I hope you enjoyed this channel. It is dedicated to artificial intelligence, travel and tech.
Yo, check the mic, 1, 2.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Thanks for watching.
Next cipher begin!
You know, we usually think of AI as software, right? It's a tool that lives in our computers. But what if that's completely the wrong way to look at it? What if AI is on the verge of becoming something way more fundamental, something as essential and as invisible as the electricity that's powering your screen right now?
That pretty wild idea comes directly from OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. And he's not just talking about selling another app. He's talking about selling intelligence itself as a utility, something you just plug into, pipe directly into our lives, just like we do with electricity or water.
So what in the world is an intelligence utility? Well, think of it like this. Instead of a company buying a bunch of software licenses, they would just buy units of cognitive work. Need a market analysis done? Okay, buy a few units of intelligence. Need to write some really complex code? Just buy some more. AI stops being a tool you own and becomes a resource you just consume on demand.
But how would this actually work in the real world? I mean, this isn't just about changing how we bill for things. It requires a whole new type of infrastructure. It's a massive shift from the simple AI tools we have today to something that looks a lot more like a digital workforce.
This slide really breaks down the evolution. On the left, you've got today's AI. We have these short, little task-based chats. You ask a question, it gives an answer, and then the interaction is over. But the future Altman is describing is completely different. It's about these autonomous AI agents that can run huge, complex projects for weeks, even months at a time, because they have the full context of the entire organization.
And this is where it gets really mind-bending. I mean, if you have a whole fleet of digital employees who never sleep, never take a coffee break, the very idea of what a company is could completely change. You could have these massive, incredibly productive organizations run by just a handful of human supervisors.
And listen, this isn't just some far-off theory. OpenAI is actually building the software to make this happen right now. This platform they're working on, called Frontier, is basically designed to be a kind of operating system for intelligence, a layer that sits across a whole company, giving this fleet of AI agents a shared brain and a long-term memory. So this vision it's massive, it's exciting for sure. But if AI is going to be the new electricity, then we have to ask a super critical question that didn't really get pushed at that infrastructure summit. Who's going to own the power plants?
Because this intelligence doesn't just appear out of thin air, right? It's generated in these enormous, energy-hungry data centers. And that means the crucial questions become, who's building these things, who owns them, and ultimately, who gets to set the rules for how they're used? You know, unlike the early internet, which was built on these open, kind of decentralized principles, this new utility is being born highly centralized. Right from day one, it's concentrated in the hands of just a few giant corporations. And just look at the money involved. OpenAI's recent valuation was hovering around $110 billion. That's the kind of capital you need to build this new infrastructure. It creates an absolutely enormous barrier to entry, which means only a handful of organizations on the entire planet can even afford to compete.
And here they are. This is pretty much the list. A very small group of companies are building the foundational models and the data centers that are going to produce the world's intelligence. This is where the power is all being concentrated.
So this concentration of power is already kicking off a massive strategic battle. The fight is all about where this new intelligence layer will actually live and who will ultimately control that direct relationship with the customer. So right now, we're seeing two competing visions emerge. First, there's the embedded model. This is championed by giants like Salesforce. They want to build AI agents directly inside their existing platforms. But then you have the overlay model, which is being pushed hard by OpenAI. They want to create a totally separate intelligence layer that sits on top of all your other software, controlling everything from one central place. And this isn't just some philosophical debate for tech geeks. Wall Street is paying very close attention. When OpenAI and Anthropic announced their big agent plans, software stocks like ServiceNow and Workday actually took a hit. Investors are getting worried that a single all-powerful AI overlay could make all that specialized software way less valuable. Okay, so let's zoom back out for a second. What does a future of cheap, abundant, utility-grade intelligence actually mean for all of us? The consequences are enormous, and they touch everything from the nature of work to the entire economy.
Altman himself put it pretty bluntly with this quote, and it really captures the core dilemma here. When a machine can perform cognitive work faster and more efficiently than a human, what does that mean for the value of human labor? And that's the great paradox of all this. On one hand, this revolution could lead to absolutely soaring productivity and make life better for everyone. But on the other hand, it could fundamentally break the connection between work and economic value that has pretty much defined our society for centuries.
But the conversation at that big infrastructure summit, it kind of stopped short of the most difficult questions. If this new technology creates trillions of dollars in value, how is that wealth going to be distributed? If human labor gets devalued, how do people earn a living? And who gets to govern these incredibly powerful new systems?
So this is the thought I really want to leave you with. This isn't just a story about cool technology, it's a story about power. If intelligence really is the next global utility, the most important question we can ask is this: who gets to control the switch? Let us know what you think down in the comments. And hey, subscribe for more explainers just like this one.